I've done some radio shows in the past. I have. I was doing this thing with this company in Australia for a while. And the thing about radio is it doesn't pay. And radio is sort of like dead. It's dead. Nobody's listening to AM radio. And and I don't know if this is AM, it could be FM, it really doesn't matter. I know it's syndicated, but just recently I was asked to be on the Midnight in the Desert show. That was Art Bell's show, and then he left, and now this woman, Heather Wade, does it. And I was considering, I said that I'd do it. I just told them I'm not going to do it. And the reason why is I thought about it. It's not for a while. I'm not leaving them hanging, of course. But here's the deal. The show starts at like 12:15 or 10 after 12, okay? And then it goes to like 4 in the morning. That's the main reason I'm not doing it. You're out of your fucking mind. One, it's too late at night. I have a sleeping illness. I don't know if I've ever talked. I think I've talked about this in some videos. But if I'm driving, I have to like pull over sometimes because it's hitting me too hard. Now, medication, I could take medication. It's about $900 a month. So I choose not to do that. And I take Red Bull. I drink Red Bull. They want me up. It's going to wipe me out for 4 days. Okay? Why would I want to put my health into a downward spiral like that? I'm not doing it. And the other thing is, this is the truth. They want you to talk for 4 hours? Free? You're out of your fucking mind. And anybody that would do that show, why would I do that? Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. This is the truth. If a dog does a board and train, I take the dog back. On the day that I take the dog back, that's the first lesson. That's it. And that lesson I might be with the owner and the dog for about 2 hours talking about dogs. And at the end of that, I'm exhausted. I'm wiped out. I don't have anything left to say. They want me to go on there for 4 hours and talk about Bigfoot and Sasquatch. So, do you see the point? I'm going to talk 4 hours about Bigfoot? That would be impossible. I'd have to start asking the interviewer questions. Okay? I would, and that's the approach that I was going to take. But I'm like, why am I even doing this? She sent me an email, this woman. She's very nice. She sent me an email saying that the show, this is another kicker, and I already saw statistics about the show. I looked it up. One, the average viewer listens for 5 minutes, okay? That's not very good. And that the show reaches 250,000 people a month. That stinks. That is not good. Why is that not good? Because it's fucking radio. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares, okay? 250,000, I did a 250,000 in like 2 days on my channel. Last week I made over 1 million views. So I'm reaching more than why am I going to get involved in that? If it was a TV show that, they wanted me to come on and talk or something and it was like 20, I'd do it, sure. If Tasho called me, I'd do it. I'd do it with them for sure. They're awesome. But to go on a show and sit there and talk about fucking Bigfoot for 4 hours and then this is the other kicker. The last hour you're doing it, she said they have a call-in where people call in. And she said, of course, not everybody will be nice. Yeah, I would imagine that. So the trolls call in and, want to communicate with me in a negative way. I'm on the show. What am I supposed to do? Like hang up on them? I don't control that. So why do I want to deal with that? There's people on my channel. I'm already dealing with trolls. And when I went to the Facebook page of Midnight in the Desert, there were all kinds of trolls saying ridiculous things underneath my video. Why am I going to get involved in that? I'm not going to. It's like the Japanese TV shows that want me to be how they want me involved, I don't want to be involved, okay? This is my life, and I will conduct my life the way that I want to do it. And also, the Bigfoot body parts, I will deal with them how I feel fit. My father dealt with it one way, I deal with it another way, okay? And I'm no dummy. I'm not gonna get roped into doing something that is physically unpleasant, okay? Just abusive. I know that the trolls are gonna come and say abusive shit, okay? That's part of their show. It's entertaining. There's a lot of these shows that like they like that. They, like reality TV and everything, which you would consider that reality radio. When they're calling in, a big part of that is conflict. They want conflict. If I'm going to have conflict, it's going to be on my own fucking show. It's not going to be, here, let's use Peter Caine because, and the other thing, I cannot use any type of expletives where expletives are a part of my vernacular, so I have to really concentrate not to say, the S word, the F word, which is part of my vernacular, which seems absurd. It does. It seems absurd to me that it's 2017, okay? It's a show that's in the middle of the night, and if you say fuck or shit, they bleep it, and if you say it, they'll take you off. I'm not getting involved in that. It's nonsense. It is. Like I've done radio shows where it's not that big of a deal. Like Caine with Margie Schnibby, because it doesn't go far enough, but then it goes out as a podcast. So there really wasn't any issues with what you say because the FCC doesn't, it's such a small area. They don't really do anything about Caine. In Australia, it was different. Like they said, don't do it. But if you did, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Here they're saying that Heather will reprimand you. I don't need to be reprimanded on the way that I speak. I'm a 54-year-old man. If I'm using an expletive, so be it. Who cares? Who cares? So I'm not doing it, in other words. Why would anybody want to do that? And another kicker is I went on YouTube to see really what you can't listen to the show. Like I tried to listen to the show, she sent me a link and I tried to click on it and said that if I listened to it I might harm my computer because the file's so large. What? Just send me a link I can use, okay? And then she's going, well, you could listen to it live. If I listen to it live, I have to stay up past 12. Why do I want to do that? I got to get up and work with dogs. I got shit to do. No thanks. No thanks. I get a lot of offers from Sasquatch research channels, podcasts that deal with Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And you could use my videos, as long as it's fair use, you can use those, but I don't really want to come on your show and help your show. I got my own fucking shit going on. I do. I'm not saying I won't go on TV. Obviously, I have no problem going on TV. I'll go on stage. It doesn't matter, but I'm just not going to go on anything just to be going on it. You see what I'm Peter Caine, man. I've been in New York City art world for years. I'm past the point of like, oh look, I get to go on radio, yay! I've had all kinds of write-ups, it's just, I'm 54 years old. Nobody's gonna be able to get me just on whatever by saying you'll be on radio or a podcast. I'm not doing that. The last time I just said whatever and didn't listen to the podcast was, I'm not going to even say the name of the podcast, but I was on it a couple of different times. I never listened to the podcast, which was a mistake because later I listened to it and I'm like, they're just using my shit and making my fucking life seem like a joke, If I'm part of the joke, that's one thing. Like Tasho, I was part of the joke. I was a contributor. They asked me what I thought. They asked me to ad-lib and stuff. Yeah, that's right. But just to take my shit and do whatever you want with it, or portray me in some way that is not how it really is fucked up. So I learned my lesson from doing that podcast. One, listen to the podcast before you go on it, right? I just figured it was cool. Everybody was sort of like saying, yeah, do it. The podcast is horrible that I'm talking about. It's horrible. They talk about poop and, it's a scatology. This man and husband and wife, comedians, they're not really funny. Maybe you can write out like, if they have a set thing that they're going to say, like they have a routine, they can get up on stage and be funny, but they certainly can't be funny on a spontaneous basis. They're left with just talking about poop and what they eat and stuff. It's, or finding YouTubers that they can flip shit on. So I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm ever doing that again. I'll listen to every podcast, any radio show. I can't even listen to this radio show. It's no shit. I had to go to YouTube and hear people talking about the radio show. And what I was going to say is the people that were talking about the radio show seemed like they were, I'm not going to call people losers. Joe Rogan did the Art Bell show. I saw that. He's a loser. In my book, he is. I don't listen to his podcast for obvious reasons. You don't take people's content and turn it into your own, Joe. You could have asked, or you could have put out an unedited version, an embedded link, and showed the whole video where I got views. No, you don't want to do that, dude. So I'm very leery of, I'm not going to just go on whatever. Hearing her say we have a viewership of 250,000 viewers a month, who cares? That's nothing. That is nothing. If she would have said 25 million, yeah, I'd do it. I'd stay up for the 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. You have to pick and choose. Don't just take anything. There's nothing worse than a 50-cent hooker. Seriously. You have to, all you have in this life is your credibility. So don't attach yourself to some horse that's like not credible. That's all we have left. When we're gone, that's all we have left is like, see what I'm saying? I don't want to go on it. I'm not going to go on it, and I'm not going to take just any offers. There's no reason to do it. There isn't. I'm not a 50-cent hooker. About $1.50.